Greetings, YouTubers! How is everybody doing out there in YouTube land today? Well, I hope you're doing pretty good because I'm not doing too bad myself. Lots of sunshine out here today after a few days of rain. It's dried out and now I'm ambitious to get outside and do some things. Today I figured I'd pass along a little tip for you guys. I'm going to show you how to make your V-belts or your serpentine belts on your vehicle last forever. Yeah, see this belt here? This belt has over 100,000 miles on it. And look at it, it looks almost brand new. Now we all know what happens after 20, 30,000 miles. Your belts will end up looking like this. You'll get these big cracks in them and you'll end up having to replace them. It'll cost you just a fortune. And you can see here's one of my belts that's pretty messed up and I had to change it and it cost a few dollars to do that. So I'm going to show you how to make your belts go from this basically to almost brand new with tens of thousands of miles on them. So let's get to it. Alright, now here's my 2003 Ford Explorer. This vehicle has 160,000 miles on it. This particular belt has about 80,000 miles on it. And I don't know how well you're going to see down in there, but you can see it there. It looks pretty good. It doesn't have any cracks or anything. And if you look down the bigger pulley there, you can see no cracks whatsoever. And let me show you my other vehicle. And this is my 1997 Land Rover. It has 154,000 miles on it, I do believe. And this belt was replaced at 80,000 miles. And the guy that I bought it off of, well, he does the same thing that I do. And if you can see down in there, you can see how nice that belt looks there. No cracks, almost in pristine condition. And let me show you my daily driver. And this is my daily driver, my 2000 Ford Expedition with a 4.6, and there is my V-belt, and look at that baby. It still looks like brand new. No cracks on the belt whatsoever on the V-belt. I just checked it yesterday, and this is what we're going to go over today. I want to save you lots of money and aggravation and get your belts to last you a very long time. I guess I should start out by saying it's not really a big secret. It's just something that's not talked about a lot anymore. It's sort of a lost art. Back in the old school days, in the 70s and 80s, people used to do this a lot to make their belts last a long time. And they really don't teach this much anymore in the automotive world, so I'm going to share it with you. And I've been doing this for 30 years, 35 years. What you got to get is some kind of leather protective ingredients. They make it in different brands. They make STP, ArmorAllor, they make it in Meguiar's. And that's what you really need. Now, what I like to do before I get ready to replace a belt on my vehicle, I'll get a container, and I'm using this plastic container. You can even use a coffee cup depending on how big your belt is. And you can see I have one of my belts in here soaking right now. And what you can do is just take your STP or whatever, open up the top of the cap, and just pour a bunch in and put your belt in there, wind it up, and just shake it around and get that in there really good. And if you want, you can let it sit overnight and let it soak. And the longer you do that, the better it'll be. You can do it for 20 minutes and it should work pretty good. Now I've got it sitting here in the sun. I'm going to let it soak a little bit longer. I'm going to show you some of my belts that I've used this on in the past. Now here is a Dodge Caravan belt. This thing had 167,000 miles on it, and look at this. It's still in really good shape. I had the car for about 4 years, and I used it every month or so. I'd spray some of that on there, and it really helped my belt out. I have never replaced a belt on my vehicle, never had one break. And you can see here is another belt. This is off of a 95 Breeze. Yeah, that's a pretty old vehicle. It had 146,000 miles when I took this off, and I think I put about 60,000 miles on this vehicle. And this belt, I never did change. As soon as I got the vehicle, I started soaking it and spraying ArmorAllor on it. And it lasted quite some time. Now, you don't have to take the belt off to do this on a vehicle. What you can do is just basically come over here, and I'll show you real quick. Take the cap off the bottle, and just let it drip down on the belt, and go in and start the vehicle, and shut it off, come back out, do it again. Just come back and forth. Don't do it while the vehicle's running, because there's a chance you could drop the bottle, or you can hit your hand on the fan blade, or you can get your finger ripped off on one of the pulleys or the belts. I know some guys tell you to go ahead and start it and dump it on there, but don't do it. Just dump it on there like I did, and after you do that, go start the vehicle and let it run a little bit. and shut it off. Spray some on there as best you can. Get in there, you know, and just kind of lightly spray it. And sometimes it's, you know, it may be a little hard to get in there, but it'll go. And I got a little bit on my hose here, but this also makes it shiny too. And simply go back in the vehicle and start the vehicle up again. And let the vehicle run a little bit longer and shut it off. And now, my friend, that's really all you have to do. You don't have to take the belt off or anything. Unless you've broken the belt, then that's a good idea to go ahead and do what I'm going to show you next. Alright, so like I said, I've let this soak overnight, and the ArmorAllor bottle, I just took the cap off and I dumped it in here and shook it around. And since I've got the camera in one hand, and I'm going to try to take this out with the other, and I'm going to pull this out of here real quick, and look how nice this belt looks. Get you a cloth and kind of dry it off really good. Get the excess off, and you'll be amazed just how much longer your belt will last. And also, this, in most cases, I have found this will keep it from squeaking too. If you have a belt that's squeaking a little bit, it certainly does some amazing things here. So I'm going to go ahead and dry this off real quick. And now my belt's all dried off, and you can see it's in there pretty good. And all we have to do at this point is stick it back on there. Though these are extra belts that I have for vehicles in the future. When I get my belts, I usually do this, and I'll just kind of hang them up. Now, if you want, you can still leave them in a container. If you have a bunch of these containers, you can just kind of write something on the top of this, a black magic marker or something, and put what vehicle it come off of. And when you need a belt, boom, it's there. You won't have to go out and spend $40, $50 on some of these belts nowadays. And they won't end up looking like this one here. And this one here, like I said, come off of a Dodge Neon. This is a air conditioning belt. And you can see it just got destroyed. And no one took care of these belts. Now, it's not feasible to rip the belt off the vehicle and just go ahead and do this and pay a mechanic to put it back on. This is why I say it's better to go out to the vehicle, take some of this and spray it on the belt that you got. Start it up. Run it a little bit, start it up, and you'll notice a difference after about a couple days how the belt starts to look. It'll have a little more moisture, wet look to it, and this is what protects those V-belts, and this is what will make them last a very long time. And also, they do make something called Aerospace Protective. It's in a bottle like this. You can get it at Walmart. It's basically the same thing. And here are some of my other belts that I've kept over the years, and you can look at all these belts. I've done this, and you can see these belts are in really good shape. No cracks whatsoever. The belts that really get into trouble and are really end up breaking and getting ripped apart are these V-belts. This is why you got to take good care of them. And I'm very proud to say that by doing this, I've saved myself thousands and thousands of dollars by not replacing belts. So there's your tip for the day. If you have a belt on your vehicle right now and you're kind of wondering about it, go buy some protective spray, some leather spray on it, start it up a few times, and every few days do it again, you know, now and then, and keep an eye on your belt, and I guarantee you're going to notice a big difference in the look of your belt. And 100,000 miles later, if you still have the vehicle, I almost guarantee you this belt will still be in pretty good shape and will probably outlast the vehicle. So there you go. There's my tip for the day. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any more questions or suggestions, please share with everybody in the comment section below. And until my next video, guys, I'll see you later. And thanks for sticking with me through the end of the video. And have a great day, everybody.